what were the changes that need to be made? Can you lay those out for me?
The only change as of right now, according to the order that needs to be made, is the device switch to the device that we're using in our department.
Okay. And what device did he have previously?
He has a device with safe monitoring solutions. So prior to us getting a contract for our own GPS devices, all defendants were referred out to a third party for GPS installation.
Very good. Okay. So can you take care of that for me?
I talked to his office and they told me repeatedly that I could keep my current company that I've been using since last December. We're almost at trial and my billing is through a third party. And at the moment, I can't pay to switch devices. So we're almost there. We're almost at trial. And suddenly with, what was it, a day's notice? Something like that. They requested me to change devices.
How long ago was that?
That was like July 4th. So I think it was the 3rd, right before the holiday. And they told me I'm in full compliance. So he's saying that he's requesting me to switch companies, but the office, he even told me last time I spoke to him, I'm in full compliance. There's no need to switch. We're almost at trial. It's August 12th.
There is a need to switch that he's argued. Is there the possibility of doing the exclusion zone that you're requesting and him be on the system that he's on right now, and you still be able to oversee his pretrial?
Not as immediate as we are now, since it's through a third party. If a violation was to occur, the third party will receive that violation and then notify us via email. How long that takes, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, versus the immediate violation coming to the officer, text, email, once it occurs.
Okay, and is there a reason for concern that there are violations?
The concern that was brought up was from San Marcos Police Department.
And what's that?
Being around San Marcos City Hall, taking pictures of vehicles.
Which is untrue.
Okay, what's that about?
I wasn't at City Hall. I went to the area behind the Catholic Church here in town, and I never went near. I drove by City Hall, but then I received, that's his explanation, it's untrue. I never did that. And I have a GPS monitor on my ankle. He should know that, right?
Well, I think that's the point, is that he can't know it because it has to go through a third party.
He said 45 minutes. That's, how long ago was that? A month ago, almost?
It was this month, July.
So do you have evidence that he was in the location that you're alleging?
I have not asked Safe Monitoring Solutions if he was around that location during that time period.
Yeah, so with 1 day's notice, or I believe, maybe 2, I didn't even go to the location. They requested an exclusion zone, me to change companies. San Marcos PD would not provide an explanation. At least he would not give me their explanation.
We have an officer from San Marcos Police Department available.
Can you approach, sir?
Yes, sir.
We're going on the record in CR 235467F, State of Texas versus Morgan Dickerson. Can counsel please make their announcements for the record?
Allison Boost for the state.
Mr. Dickerson, you're representing yourself in this case.
Mhm.
Let's make sure that it's a yes or a no, because she's
Yes.
taking down what we say. Okay, so the question here is about location of Mr. Dickerson. Do you have knowledge of that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, can you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your arm down. What's your name?
My name is Joseph Osborne.
Okay, and how are you employed?
I work as a police officer at San Marcos Police Department.
Okay, and so tell me what's going on that we need a change for the defendant's conditions.
So on July 1st, I was made aware of a call for service at City Hall, where Mr. Dickerson went up there and was taking videos and pictures of buildings in that area, which is right next to St. John's Church. And then an employee who was about to walk into the building suddenly turned around and noticed that Mr. Dickerson was right behind him recording with his cell phone. And then when he questioned him about it, Mr. Dickerson told him that it was kind of just a case of mistaken identity. And then from my understanding, that was also confirmed by that third-party GPS monitoring system that he was at City Hall on that date.
Anything else you want to tell the court?
No, sir.
State, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
Well, yes. The first most important thing is, was I at City Hall, yes or no? Was I outside City Hall?
Yes,
Do you have evidence of that?
there's cameras on City Hall, yes.
Okay, do you have pictures, any evidence here? Have you sent it to the court?
Before we even get into the courtroom today, you need to understand just how strange, and honestly how messy, this case already is. What starts as a routine pretrial GPS monitoring issue quickly turns into a full-blown credibility problem for law enforcement. We've got a defendant representing himself, a police department demanding stricter conditions, and a judge who clearly isn't interested in vague accusations or, trust me bro, evidence. And that's where things get interesting, because here's the twist: the entire argument for tightening this man's restrictions hinges on GPS data that nobody in the room actually has in hand. Let that sink in. The state wants new exclusion zones, a force device switch, and tighter monitoring, all while admitting they haven't even verified the alleged violation. You're going to hear concerns about probing behavior.
There's a parking lot adjacent to the Catholic Church. I got out, went behind the Catholic Church. My phone was out, I had headphones in. I don't know how he would think that. First of all, is it illegal to take video or pictures? Now, is that an issue? There's no reason that would be a problem.
Issue there with him being at City Hall.
I could speak to that as well, Judge. For me, it's just concern. And on behalf of the police department, it's concern that sometimes we've seen in the past that that's a probing type behavior when someone's planning targeted violence. They'll go to a location such as the City Hall, examine what kind of security measures are in place and kind of controlled access, which was an additional concern for me when the employee that was attempting to get into the building noticed how closely he was being followed behind.
Is there anything, have there been any charges for any threats?
No, there have not. Again, that was just concern. It wasn't a criminal charge or criminal offense.
Okay, do you need to go to the City Hall?
Perhaps. My father owns a real estate investment company, and if I accompany him, I might need to go to City Hall. And depending on the distance from the location, that's right in central San Marcos. And so on a daily basis, I might go by there. It doesn't make sense. Why would I need an additional exclusion zone for City Hall? I've done nothing. They don't even know if I was taking pictures or video. It's just ridiculous. I think anyone could see that. It doesn't make sense. And we're almost at trial. And like I said, his office said that I was in full compliance and I could keep my current company. There's no evidence of any wrongdoing for an additional exclusion zone. They told me I could keep the same company, yet here I'm being requested to change it when I had the arrangements already made through trial for payment. It just doesn't make any sense.
Very good. State, would you like to add anything? Any argument?
Your Honor, obviously, there's pretty serious charges that the defendant is facing. We are set for jury trial based on my review of the evidence, and I'm sure the court has access to the probable cause affidavit. I think the court can also understand the safety concerns of the San Marcos Police Department. I don't think the defendant has articulated any particular reason other than financial hardship, in which case we can look into alternatives in terms of the court covering those costs of switching to the GPS provider that pretrial services needs to be able to actually continuously monitor him.
Right here is where the foundation of the state's argument starts cracking. The defendant isn't refusing monitoring, he's already been monitored for 8 months without incident. What he's pushing back on is the sudden demand to switch GPS providers with almost no notice and no proven violation. And that matters. Courts generally care about compliance, not convenience for the department. Notice how the justification isn't misconduct, it's efficiency. The department prefers real-time alerts instead of a 30 to 45-minute delay from a third-party provider. That's not an allegation of wrongdoing. That's a preference. And preferences alone usually aren't enough to justify increasing restrictions.
On City Hall grounds?
No, I wasn't. Well, I wasn't at City Hall, the building itself, but their parking lot is adjacent to. I don't know how the buildings are, the ownership there, but I wasn't at City Hall. I know where City Hall is. I passed it.
Do you deny that you were taking videos of someone going into City Hall?
Yes, I deny it. It's untrue. And so what I'm saying is that the GPS right now is an expense and it's not providing any benefit to the state or to myself, because they should have, it should work both ways, right? I was wearing a GPS. They should know I was not outside City Hall. Yet they're claiming they have this evidence that I was. I just think that the GPS itself is just at this redundant at this point.
Okay, his point is well made. Is there any evidence from the third party that you have requested afterwards to show that he was at City Hall?
Due to Mr. Dickerson not being assigned to me, I have to get my laptop to check the officer notes.
Okay, well, let's check it. I mean, let's know what's going on if we're going to accuse him of something. Anything else you want to add?
No, sir. The police department, I believe, does have that information that you're requesting about the GPS verification. I don't have it personally on me, but.
Okay,
Can I say,
well, if you want to step back and get it, you may.
Sure.
can I make one more point? I live adjacent to the exclusion zone, the property that's the exclusion zone, next door neighbors. And so I have an exclusion zone set up to the property I live adjacent to.
Where do you live?
Do you need the address or?
Yeah, I mean, it's the probation, I mean, pretrial knows where you live.
Yeah, and if you look at it, it's an apartment complex. I live right adjacent to it, like adjoining property. So.
Here's where the narrative takes a sharp turn, and honestly, it gets murky fast. The concern now isn't GPS compliance anymore. It's behavior. Specifically, an allegation that the defendant was near City Hall taking pictures and videos. But listen carefully to what's missing: no timestamps, no footage, no confirmed GPS verification presented in court. The defendant points out something critical: if he's wearing a GPS monitor, shouldn't this be the easiest claim in the world to verify? Instead, we hear that no one has.
Everyone can step back
Okay.
and we'll look at what's going on. Look, your point I'm taking and I'm considering, and I understand the position that you're making. All right,
Okay.
so we'll just stay cool. And
Go sit down again.
yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to step outside. I'll be right back.
Okay, but you'll be back. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, what we did is we stepped back. We'll be back on the record in CR 23-5467F. Counsel for the state is present. Mr. Dickerson, who represents himself, is present. We stepped back. Mr. Dickerson, I had asked you if you were at City Hall. You denied that. You said, yes, I deny that. Then you asked Mr. Facundo to go and prove it up, which I think is a fair thing for you to do. If they want to say that you were there, then show the evidence. You asked them to do that. Were you able to find any evidence, Mr. Facundo?
Yes, Your Honor. July 1st, approximately 2:40 p.m., his GPS device puts him at San Marcos City Hall, and then past that around other properties behind City Hall as well.
Have you had the
This testimony is incredibly telling, not necessarily for what's said, but for how it's framed. The officer describes a situation based largely on second-hand reports and interpretation.